Hey guys, welcome to Zone. In this video tutorial, I am going to teach you about APIs inside Laravel. So we will learn a CRUD functionality inside Laravel API. So I will show you two methods for storing and updating data inside Laravel. So without wasting any time, we will go to our CMD. I will show you creating Laravel API from scratch. So we will go to our desired folder c:/xamp/htdocs. So here we will create a project. So using composer create project Laravel/Laravel and the folder name which is API. To reduce time consumption, I will cut this video from here and I will start video when the project will be installed successfully. I will create a playlist for this. First of all, I will show you how to create a Laravel APIs with CRUD functionalities, and then we will learn about the feature of Laravel API which we will learn using Laravel documentation about API resource, and in third lecture I will show you how you can create the Laravel APIs using models relationship. Okay guys, as you can see the project is installed successfully. So we will try to access this project inside this browser, but before we access we have to register a domain. So we will go to XAMPP and here we have a explorer option. We will click on it and we will see a window here, and we will go to Apache conf extra and now vhost.conf file. So we will click on it. It will open this file, and if we will go down we can see that we will have this code here. So you need to customize this code in this form. I have created this URL for my another website, so I will copy paste and now I will change this URL to my desired URL. This will be sabri.zone, my YouTube channel, and instead of e-learning folder my folder name is API, my project name, and instead of this e-learning for .test I will use sabri.zone. okay, save this, and now we will go to search bar and search for notepad, and we will run it as administrator, and I will go to open, and now you have to go to this URL. Inside C you will go to Windows, System, Drivers and etc, and now you will click to show all files, and now you will go to host files. Inside this you can see I have created a URL for my another website. I will copy this URL and I will create a new URL, and this time this URL name will be same as we have created inside vhost.conf file. So sabri.zone. okay, save this, and now we need to minimize these two notepads and close this, and now we will search for this URL, but before we search we need to restart our Apache and MySQL. okay, restart it. Now we will search for sabri.zone. okay, great. As you can see we have successfully accessed our newly created Laravel project. So now we will go to our editor. In my case it is PHP Storm. So as you can see the project is open successfully. So now we will go to terminal, and here we will create a model on which we will gonna apply Laravel API CRUD operations. So this time here I will type PHP artisan make model, and model name will be post and a flag with a. This means it will create a controller, a model, a migration file, a database seeder, a factory, everything whatever I need. okay, as migration file is created successfully, so we will go to database. So we will go to that file. okay, instead of this ID I will use increments and inside this increments I will take id and I will duplicate this row, and instead of increments second thing will be string, and that will be title, and I will duplicate this once again, and this time it will be a long text, and instead of title this will be a description. Okay, save this. Now we will go to factories. Inside this factories we have a post factory. So here we will type our column names. First of all, title is equal to faker, I think it will be a text, and a text for how many characters? It will be for 50 characters, actually 20 characters are enough. Okay, now we will duplicate this row. Instead of title, now this time actually it is a separation, not a termination. Same thing for this one, and here we will type description. Okay, so it will be a paragraph, and with how many characters? I think 50 characters are enough. Okay, save this. Now we will go to terminal and we will migrate these files, but this terminal is still busy, so we will go to another terminal, and here we will write, before we migrate we need to create a seeder, so we will go to database seeder, and here we will duplicate this line, and instead of this line we will use post and factory, and inside this factory you can tell how many records do you want. So I want 20 records instead of 10, but I want 10 records only. I have not linked database, so we will go to .env file. Instead of this Laravel I will type here API. So we will go to our browser and go to localhost. Now the database name, which is API, so database created successfully. So now if we will go to our terminal and try to rerun this query, okay, successfully worked. So we will go to API database, we will have a post table. Inside this post table you can see we have 10 records. Okay, great, we can see that we have 10 records here. So now we will go to postman and we will try to access these records here. Postman is a software which access your data into JSON format. So I will minimize this, I will minimize this too. We will go to editor and we will go to routes folder to create a routes. So inside this route folder we have a API file, and this API file we will type here route and resource. Inside this resource we will type URL, which is post API, and don't put a / here, because when you will try to access a single data this will gonna give error. I will show you later. Okay, instead of this / we will type here the controller, which is post controller. Okay, post controller. Okay, class. Okay, great. Termination. As I told you earlier, I will show you two methods of storing and updating data, and I want to write a route for storing and updating method 2. So I will write here method 2, and here I will type route, and this time it will be a post request for storing a data, storing a new record. So this will be post API, same as above, comma and array, because we want to call a single function here. So post controller class comma quotation, inside this quotation the function name, which will be a store function. Okay, termination point, I will duplicate this. Instead of post request, this time it will be a put request, but this post request will be called inside this store function. Okay, save this. Now we will go to our post controller first. Before we call the data here, we need to create a resource file here. So we will type here php artisan make resource, and this time it will be a post resource, and hit enter. Okay, file created successfully. This file will be inside this resource folder, app http, and then resources folder. You have the post resources. This shows that all data inside this request will be converted into array, and we will go to our post controller. Instead of this, we will return here, return, as we want to return a collection, so we will be calling post resource collection. Inside this collection we will get all the data inside that model. So post and all data, and I think that's it. So save this. Now before we go to browser or postman, I want to check the php artisan route list. Okay, as you can see, our route list says if we want to go to index, we need to use this URL. So I will copy this URL, minimize this. We will go to postman. Inside this postman, we will use get request, and our URL is sabri.zone, and now we will paste that URL here, and we will use send request. Okay, great. As you can see, the all 10 records are fetched successfully here. So our index function is working successfully. Now I want to show you a show request for used for showing a single request. So it will return $post. Actually it will return new. Why I am using new? Because this time I am not going to access the collection data. I want a single record. So new post resource, and inside this post resource we will call our model post, and find or fail. Inside this we will find id $post, and that's it. Before we run this, we need to do this. Okay, now if we will go to terminal and check for the show, we can see that we have to use this URL API / post API / the ID which we want to access. So we will go to new window. This time we will use post request, get request as it is. So we will type sabri.zone /API / post API, and I think I need to write post API / and the record name or name by ID. So I want to send one, and we will send this request. Okay, great. As you can see, we can access one record here. So we will go to controller, and now we will work for deleting a request. So instead of this comment, I will use return. Instead of returning, we will type a variable post to delete is equal to post model. Inside this model we will use find or fail, and inside this find or fail we will use $post. Okay, great. Now this function, this query will get a single record which will be saved inside post to delete. Okay, now we will return. Before we return, I want to use a if condition. If $post to delete and delete, if this post is deleted, then return me this post. So return, we want to return a single data. So new post resource, and inside this post resource $post to delete. Okay, this will show me the deleted record. Okay, save this. Now go to browser and copy this URL, and we will open a new window. Inside this new window we will choose delete request, and we will type a URL. Instead of first record, I want to delete the 8th ID, actually the second ID, and send this. Okay, great. As you can see, we have the second ID record here, and if we will go to index file which shows all records and we will hit enter, you can see the second ID is removed, and after first ID we have the third ID. It means that the second record is deleted successfully. Now the most important part, we will gonna learn about storing and updating data. So we will go to store function. As you can see, we can't use this create function because in create function we use HTML, we write data inside a form, but the store data has a post request and it gets a request and manipulate data and stores that data. So I will write here $post is equal to new post. Okay, $post title is equal to the title coming from request, so $request title, and we will duplicate this line. Instead of title it will be for description, so request description. Okay, great. After that we will save this post. So I will save in such a way, if $post save, if this post saved, then what will happen? So I will return $post. Actually I want to return a single record, so I will type here new post resource, inside this post resource we will return $post. Okay, save this. Let me check what is happening. Okay, great. Now we will go to our postman. We will create a new tab. We will type here sabri.zone/API/post API, and this time we will use a post request, and we will go to headers, and here we will type content type, and application value will be application/JSON. So we will send that data inside a raw format. So we will open a brackets here. Inside this we will use double quotation and title. Remember, you have to use the double quotations and colon. Now what you want inside title, this is title, and now we will use a separation, and we will use another field which will be description. Inside this description we will type this is description, and I think that's it. So now we are ready to go. We need to just press the send button and see what will happen. Okay, great. If we will go down, you can see that the title is, this is title, description, this is description, and most importantly ID is 11. If we will go to our main index, and we will send this request once again, and if we will scroll down right here, you can see we have another record with the name of ID, and ID is 11. So our store function is working perfectly. Now it's time to use the update method. So I will copy this URL, and we will go to new field, and we will paste this here. So instead of get, this time we will use put request. So we will go down to our update method, and here first of all we will check for $post to update is equal to post model. Inside this model, find or fail, the record which ID is $post, and I will remove this thing from here. So now we will use $post to delete, and its title will be equal to $request title, and duplicate this record, and instead of title it will be a description, and we will use our description here, description. So now we will apply a if condition, same as when we were saving our data. So we will type here $post to update save. If the post is saved, then show me that record. So I will return here, return new post resource, as we want to show a single record. So post to update, and that's it. I think we are ready to go. So we will go to postman using a put request, and the ID will be /3id, and we will go to header, same as we were saving our data, content type and application JSON. Okay, inside body we will use a raw. Inside this raw we will have a brackets here. Inside this brackets we want to send double quotation title, and title is the request, and separation, another curly braces, another quotations for description. Inside this description I will say subscribe, subregion, and I think that's it. We are ready to go. So if we will click on send, great, as you can see our data is updated successfully. So we will go to our index, and we will try to access this data once again. Okay, great. We need to go upside, and if you can see, with the ID of 3 our data is updated successfully. So now it's time to show you other methods for updating and storing data with a single function. I'm using this function here. So we will comment this resource route, and we will use this route now for saving this data, for store and update. So we will go to our post controller, we will copy this from here, copy this, go upside inside store folder. So here we will check for request, if request is method, if method is put, okay, then a question mark as it is a question. If its answer is positive, then this will gonna happen. If its answer is negative, then this side will gonna happen. So instead of this post I will type here $request and ID here. Okay, now we will store the ID as well. So $post ID is equal to $request ID. Okay, save this in the browser, and go to save this in the terminal, and now go to postman, and if we will go to our storing field, here we were storing our data. So I will change this is title for an other method, and here same for an other method. And now if I will try to send this request, okay, great. If I will go down, go down, as you can see here the record is stored successfully with the name of ID 12. So if we will go to our index and try to refresh our page, Okay, index have an error because this API resource is commented, but we need to check the update function first, then I will uncomment this. So we will go to our postman once again. So we will check the update. This time I want to update the id1 and method is put, and I think everything is ready to go. But before we go to submit, I need to type a id here, quotation. Inside this quotation we will use id colon and id will be 1. As you can see inside this function, you can see we are sending id inside request, not inside URL. So we will remove this id from here and try to send this record. Okay, I have one error there. That error was this separation, and now if we will try to send this data, great, the record with the id1 has been updated successfully. So if we will go to our index, and now we will go to our api.php and uncomment this, and now if we will try to send this, great, as you can see the id1 data is updated successfully. And if we will go down here, you can see we have added the data with the id of 12 successfully. I hope this video will help you and you have learned a lot. Another thing which I asked you that I will teach you, don't put a forward slash here. So if I put a forward slash here and I will try to show some data with the id1 and I will send this request, I will get this error. But if I will remove this forward slash, I will get a show function properly. For more, please subscribe my channel and share this video to others and leave a like for me. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I will upload a series of Laravel APIs. In next video we will discuss about Laravel API features, and after that we will discuss about Laravel API using relationships and models. Thanks for watching.